Our experience of Bach's music is as varied and unique as the music of Bach himself. I'm Steve Starrick, and welcome to a series of conversations with the musicians, the participants in the workshops, and the members of the audience of the Bach Society of Minnesota. Joining me is Nicole Warner. She's a mezzo-soprano known for a gorgeous sound and a special sensitivity to text. She specializes in oratorio and concert singing, especially the works of Johann Sebastian Bach. She's performed throughout the Americas and in Europe, and is scheduled to be the alto soloist in the upcoming performance of the Christmas Oratorio with the Bach Society of Minnesota. Nicole, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
When it comes to singing Bach, you've told me that it's a very natural fit for you. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
It's easy to get acquainted with the music, and it's easy to kind of pair up my technical abilities, and like the practicing is a very natural kind of thing. It's kind of easy to get the overview of everything and to get into the drama pretty quickly.
What I understand you to say is that it's natural for you to sing Bach as a singer because it fits your voice. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but think that it's also healthy for you to sing. I mean, you're a very robust and full-bodied singer, and Bach seems to appeal to what you're able to bring to the stage.
Yeah, it feels good after singing Bach, and it feels really good before you sing it. It's not terrifying, and it's incredibly satisfying to perform.
Talk a little bit about that satisfaction.
I love the way that he paints the text, and you can see very clearly that he really labored over what he was doing. He really took the text and the theology, especially the passions, into consideration, and he really knew what he was doing. And I think that's kind of the genius of it. It's really sad he wasn't more popular when he was alive, but
or an opera composer.
What do you mean?
That he didn't compose operas.
I don't think that there's a whole lot of difference between the drama of an opera and the drama of a passion. There is so much to it. If it isn't dramatic, I don't think people are working hard enough, or they're not working well enough, because there is so much to it. I mean, people should walk out of a Bach passion going, holy cow, wow, that was amazing. And they should go out really moved for the experience. They should go out changed.
Is Christmas Oratorio the same thing?
Yes, but I think it's more subtle.
Tell me about that.
I think it's more about, well, if you've ever visited anyone in the hospital right after they've had a baby, and like the Schlafe, mein Liebster, and you think
Which
about
means sleep, my child.
Yes, sleep, my beloved one, and there's such an incredible subtlety and a softness to it, just as any parent would with their own child, and I think that's really fascinating. Plus, there's they're the shepherds and all those different elements, and you can hear them very clearly painted in the music.
Now, I understand that you were also on tour singing works of Bach in a church in Italy in the wintertime that had no heat.
It was in the springtime, but it felt like winter. It was a very old church. It was several hundred years old. And they warned us, and they said there are no bathrooms, and there's no heat, and there will be no intermission. There'll just be kind of a short pause. So everybody stopped drinking water at like 3 o'clock.
Members of the choir.
Yep, everybody in the choir. I have no idea what the soloist did. They were in a different hotel, but we stopped drinking water and whatnot at 3 o'clock, and then we would just chew gum so that we didn't get so thirsty. The last thing we all did before we left the hotel was go to the bathroom. And then it was so cold in the church that everybody brought extra layers. So we were all packed up backstage and walking around and like stretching and doing jumping jacks. And then we went out into this beautiful church. And all the walls were like all the artwork on the walls. Whatever had been painted was kind of faded. Only small sections were restored. And that was just another really cool experience to be singing music from the time that church was probably built.
And the singing of Bach in a situation like that, in a venue like that, only adds to the experience of the music.
Absolutely. It's a little bit difficult actually to describe it because I don't know, how do I give you the feeling of what that concert was like?
But you bring all of that experience to your own performance of Bach.
Yes, absolutely.
Theologically, Bach, you've said that theologically there's a natural fit between how you feel and what you believe and the theological ideas espoused by Bach. Can you talk a little bit about that? In
the alto solo where the alto has to sing Die Trauernacht, the night of grieving, and anybody who has moved very consciously through a grieving process knows just how long that night is. And it kind of crunches you up in weird ways, and it irons you out in other ways, and it just never seems to end. And that one phrase is so long, and it is so full of anguish, and it is so human that I think it's absolutely brilliant text setting. And it's perfect for the theology of, the waiting through this first night of grief.
Beautifully said. If there was someone who had never experienced Bach's music before, and you were in charge of kind of opening the door for them, what would you say to them? What were they going to be introduced to in a performance of Bach's works? The Christmas Oratorio or the Passions or any of the other works where voices are involved, the cantatas?
If it were a passion, I would recommend that they get into the most relaxed state of mind possible, because it's really, as a performer, I think it's my job to work really hard and really well so that people can come out of a concert and they're filled up, that it's nourishing for them. And I think it's really important for audience members to remember that it's not this like constant produce that we have now, but it's about accepting and taking in, and it's a different modality, so to speak. And I think it would be helpful to just know the gist of it beforehand and to know where maybe like the 4 or 5 biggest points are. That would probably be, if there were a concert guide that was like, pay attention to numbers 4, 16, 32, and 41.
Maybe they should be printed in different print, though.
Yes. Yeah. Make those bold and leave the others normal.
And what about the Christmas Oratorio, since you're singing the soloist role? If somebody is coming to it for the first time, what do you want to say to them?
That I would hope they would view it as the first year of a new tradition. Because I'd never heard of somebody like... The Christmas Oratorio doesn't get performed here every year. And when I was living in Germany, someone said, the Christmas Oratorio, I listen to it on the first Sunday of Advent every year. And it really blew my mind because I thought, every year you listen to the Christmas, like, it's so normal for you to listen to the Christmas Oratorio from Bach every year that you do it always on the first Sunday of Advent.
As opposed to listening to Handel Messiah, which happens here in North America. Right,
so we have that every year. And in Germany, it was more of the Christmas Oratorio. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So I think I like that tradition. And I kind of try to do that every year to at least take some time to listen to part of it and to kind of reconnect with it because it's magical.
Do you have a favorite part in the Christmas Oratorio that you could share with us? Is it the alto solos?
Of course. I really like Lasset uns nun gehen Bethlehem. I really like that. Let's go to Bethlehem. Let's go. It's kind of like this, let's have a little, what is it called when people get in their car and they go for a tour? Like,
A road trip?
Yeah, it's like, let's go for a road trip to Bethlehem.
A road trip to Bethlehem.
Yes.